All right guys, welcome back to Mark's Remodel. For those of you who don't know, I'm Paul, and today we're going to be installing doors, and I found a really cool tool that I'm going to be using. It's called the Door Stud, and I actually have the developer, Jim, here. I found this thing, and we actually reached out to him because I was like, I got to have this thing. And so why don't you just tell us a little bit about how you came about it? And
Sure, Paul, thanks. So the Door Stud was developed out of pain. I've hung a lot of doors in my days, and I know a bit about them because I've been a part of a couple of groups that built door plants and designed doors. So I was installing doors on my own after my kids were back in college, and I said, this can be a lot easier. So we started with the concept. This is actually version 35.
Okay.
And we worked our way through taking out the pain points. So builders don't have to worry about their back,
sure,
which is the thing that really ends up affecting a craftsman later in their years. Ends up being so painful that they have to retire. So the back was the first thing, and then the other things that come automatically are taking care of the door itself, so you don't have to stand it against the wall, mar the walls,
right,
which takes you to the wall. So we wanted it to be easy. You know, our tagline's let us hold the door for you.
Yeah.
Because that's really what we want you to do.
Well, and I found that to be true.
Yeah. So it works for pocket doors, just regular pre-hungs, French doors, you name it. And it's, you know, we built it to be a lifetime tool. You can tell that it's fairly tough, 12 gauge steel, zinc plated. We rollerblade wheels, so
yeah,
it rolls around nice and easy. We have brakes on there. It's got some clamps and some spacers so that, and this is a Pro Series, you can do 1 3/8 or 1 3/4 with this product by taking the clip off.
Yep.
And you just store the clip on top.
Yeah, I found that to be nice.
And we're actually developing a universal spacer system right now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, so we can handle European doors and metric equivalents.
I think the thing I think is really cool about it is it's robust, like solid, but it's simple.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so any part on here can be replaced.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about losing the tool. You can keep
right,
it. And so I wanted people to have the feel where, you know, you're throwing it in the back of your pickup or wherever it's going. You don't have to worry about it getting damaged.
No, you don't. And in today's video, I'll show you guys how simple this is to like just put it together out of the box, and then how to install doors with it. I have pocket doors I'm going to install, you know, just pre-hung doors, and I actually installed a French door with it, which is
perfect,
pretty sweet. And I'm not an expert of installing doors by any means, but I found it very useful, and it just made it real simple.
Glad to hear that.
So
thanks for being a customer.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the show, and then if you guys have any questions, we'll answer those later. All right, so first off, guys, this is the box it comes in, really compact. It comes with a diagram, parts list. It is really, really simple to put this together. The wheels thread up through nuts on the frame itself. You put a lock washer and your handle on, and then we'll just talk a little bit about getting those secured. You just gotta hold this nut right here with a wrench, tighten this down to seat the lock washer, and it's really that simple. Then you put your pads on and the correct spacer for the size door, and that's it. And then on the back is a basic installation guide. All right, so now we have these protector pads. You can see there's 2 with holes, and those will obviously go. So you'll take this, There's little grooves and it'll just snap into place. And then the one without a hole goes on the opposite side. Now, if you're gonna do an 1 3/4 door, this piece just snaps onto here for storage. Since we're gonna be doing 1 3/8 doors, this pad has to be put on, so it goes on the opposite side of the clamp and it snaps on here. And that makes up the difference of a 1 3/8 to 1 3/4 inch door. All right, so on this door, we're gonna do step by step so you guys can see how this is done. So step 1 is to mount the door stud to the bottom of the door. So prior to getting the door stud, I had already moved my doors to their proper location, but you could literally bring the door inside the house, put these door studs on and roll it to its location, which would save a lot of energy. I'm gonna adjust all of my wheels so they're equal. They're all equal. Two inches. And the reason I'm doing that is so when I stand the door up, the door is fairly level and will ride evenly on all 4 wheels. So now we got that on there. Next step is to stand it up. All right, the next step is to mount these brackets. These are an easy hang door kit bracket. And you're gonna put them by the hinges. So I put one right above the top hinge and then right below the middle and bottom hinge, and then I do the same on the other side. All right, so one thing I found is those little wood screws are hard to get started. I suppose if you had a magnetic tip, it wouldn't be too bad. So I just pre-drill. I hold the bracket up there, mark all the holes with the pencil, pre-drill, and then those screws go in nice and easy. And one of the things that is nice about these door studs is they have wheel locks, so you can lock the wheels in place so when you're pushing it, that door doesn't move. All right, now that we have 3 brackets mounted to each side, it is time to install the door. So basically what I do is I mount my brackets on the hinge side and then I transfer that measurement to the opposite door jamb so that the brackets are at the same spot on both sides of the door. Now that we got that done, this door is going to mount, the hinges are going to be out towards the hallway. So on the hinge side, we are going to mark a plumb line down the side of the wall about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch out from the rough openings. That way when we move the door in place, we will line these little points up on that line. And if we put the same point of each bracket on that line, this side of the door jamb will be plumb. Then mounting the other side is as simple as just adjusting the jamb so the reveal looks good. So my floor is nice and level, so both my door jambs can touch the floor. So on a side note, if you can see I have the long side of the door stud on the hinge side. Typically it would go the opposite way, but you can see that my hardwood flooring ends. So I needed the wheels to be on that hardwood floor, so I just switched it up and I found that it worked just as well, even though the long side should be opposite of the hinges, if that makes sense. We're gonna go ahead, lower this all the way pretty much down to the floor, and then we're gonna move it into place. Just gonna mark 1/2 inch over. Take my level. Make sure we're perfectly level, or plumb I should say. And mark a line. Start at the top. All right, and that's it for this side of the door. So let's just recap a little bit. As far as the door installation, we adjusted the door down to the height we wanted, which I put those jambs basically on the floor just enough that I could scoot it into place. Drew a plumb line down the hinge side, slid the door in place, started at the top bracket, screwed it in, and then matched the other brackets up with the line. And then I went over to the lock side and just made sure that that reveal was nice and even down. And now that door is perfectly squared and mounted. Now I can open the door, go on the other side, bend the tabs over, and screw those sides into place. All right, now the whole door is screwed in place. I'm gonna take the door studs off, make sure it opens and closes right, and then we're done with this door. All right, guys, it does not get a whole lot easier than that. Now, if you got a couple guys and you do this for a living, you're probably pretty good at mounting these doors, but I will tell you, these are solid core doors, so they're really heavy, and having these I found to be very beneficial. I'm not trying to hold the door in place and you know, making sure it stays square. I mean, once you lift that door up on that slab, it just, I mean, it's amazing how easy it is to square up this door with this process. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more doors up here to go. So I'm gonna keep going at it. I will say one thing I do is I take out the center screw of each hinge and run a 3-inch screw into the framing of the house just to give that hinge a lot of stability. So that's the last thing I have to do here. Take the center screw out, put a long one in, and then we're done. And since I had 2 of these door studs, I went ahead and mounted a set on each door, and I think it's working out really good. The quick hang door brackets. I put 4 on each side just to give it some extra stability, since you know that those doors are closing in no man's land there in the middle. And then I actually put 2 on the top. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this all leveled the way I want it, and then we're gonna slide it into position and see if we can't get it screwed in place. All right, so now that we have these doors installed, I just want to talk about a couple things where some of you might encounter problems on a door. So when you're getting ready to install the door, the first thing you want to do is make sure that this is level. So when you put your jambs on the floor, if it's a 1/4 inch higher over here than it is over there, that is going to mess these corners up. So step 1 is to figure out if your floor is level. If it's not, you're either going to have to space one of your jambs up or cut one of them to make sure that you stay square up here, because if this side drops down, it's going to take this all out of square. So that's the first thing to do, is make sure where the door is going to set is level, and if it isn't, either decide whether you want to space one of the jambs up or if you want to cut one of them to make them even. Once you do that with the door stud and these easy mounting brackets, this gets really simple, because you strike this plumb line, match your grooves up, and then this side is perfectly plumb. And if your jambs are level and this is plumb, the rest of your door is going to have a nice even reveal. So with that being said, the next problem you could encounter is if you shut your door and it sticks out, you know, either here or over here, that means maybe your wall is not perfectly level. So if your wall isn't perfectly level, you're going to have to adjust your door accordingly, which is going to make installing trim a little bit more difficult, because you might be proud on your drywall or it might be recessed, depending on how you have to move that. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully those are some things you can think about. Those are things I've encountered over the years and have had to deal with, but I can tell you I'm super pumped. I will definitely keep these door studs in my tool trailer and will mount all my doors from here on forward with that. All right, so one last thing I want to talk to you about is cost. That's always what people want to know. How much does this cost? This is the Pro Series that I used, and typically if you're going to use this in a residential home, that's all you're going to need. And they're $250 retail. You can get them on, I've seen them on Amazon and a couple other places for $250. And if you're thinking that's a lot of money, if you're building a house, I had 20 doors in my house, and I went ahead and priced out what it would cost through Home Depot or one of the stores like that to have the doors installed, and they charge $100 a door. So you can see that if this helps you get a really quality door install, that it is way worth it. If you're going to try to install doors yourself, then I would definitely consider buying these. If you do door installations for a living, then it's a no-brainer in my opinion that these will make your life a lot easier. You're going to get your money out of these 100 times. But for you guys self-building, this is something you could buy and get your money back real quick. If you wanted to use it just for your product, you could always resell it. I'm pretty sure you would have no trouble offloading these on like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist in a hurry. All right, guys, that's gonna be a wrap for the show. Hopefully you guys found this video useful. I know that I'm pretty happy with the way, not pretty happy, I'm really happy with the way these door studs work. So I guess my question is, where can people find the door stud if they're interested?
Yeah, the quickest spot would be our website at thedoorstud.com. You could also go on Amazon. And on our site you'll see our distribution relationship. And
you have some videos on there, and you also have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, on YouTube you can see, type in the door stud and you'll see our self-help videos where if you run into any issue, you're putting it together and something's not going right. We've got a couple of corner cutters there. And don't be afraid to look at the bottom of our website. Gallant Few is an organization we support which helps service members come back from active duty deployments and get integrated back into society. So that's a very important thing for us.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, and we appreciate that. So I think that's a wrap.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Well, as always, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and we will catch you on the next video.